Sometimes a game comes out of nowhere and genuinely surprises me with how thoroughly it catches my attention. Desecrators has taken up a crazy amount of my time over the last several days. This game went into early access on Steam in March of 2021, and I just randomly saw it recommended on Twitter a few days into 2024. You pilot a Desecrator, a small ship that goes on procedurally generated missions in increasingly complex levels. The missions will start out fairly simple, find 2 gold in the level and escape for instance, but they become increasingly more challenging with larger levels, rival Desecrator ships, and more tricky goals. Desecrators is heavily inspired by other 6 Degrees of Freedom FPS games. Think things like Forsaken on the N64, though this cover doesn't do that game justice. You'll fly through levels with branching paths, secrets to discover, and plenty of enemies intent on destroying your ship. I've had to traverse through long corridors, curved sections, massive mining rooms, water sections, teleporter chains, locked doors, timed doors, and I'll tell you, it is very easy to get lost. Fortunately, the game does feature a map, and you can reposition it with the same controls as your ship controls. You can even drop a waypoint, which will create a convenient blue line for you to follow. Ultimately, you'll want to collect weapons and power-ups to make it through the randomized campaign. I'll be honest, I haven't made it all the way through yet. The game gets pretty tricky as you progress, and it's fairly easy to die if you dive recklessly into combat. Battles can get very hectic, but there are a wide range of weapons, missiles, and mines that will make things more manageable. You do get a few Desecrators that allow you to respawn in the same level, and you can earn more, but some levels will eat through these quickly. This is not just due to enemies, but traps too. Collect a gold cube for your goal, and suddenly enemies or mines will spawn in. The most dangerous enemies I've found are other Desecrators who come equipped with powerful weaponry, and the anomalies, which are essentially giant enemies that can completely wreck you. I will say the controls are a bit overwhelming at first, and it's a bit tricky to do some actions with the initial control setup. To switch mines, for instance, you need to press the N key, which makes switching mines mid-combat a bit tricky. And if you haven't played a space flight game in which you need to manage several axes of movement, you might be thrown off at first. However, I found this pretty easy to adapt to, having played similar games in the past, and I think it's actually a good design choice to have your ship automatically adjust to a somewhat normal orientation for each room that you enter. You can also rebind keys to deal with any weirdness that you experience. You do have a dash, and it's really my only complaint about the game. You can dash as long as you have fuel, which is fine, but only forward. I'd really like to be able to dash side to side, but I do understand the logic behind having the most powerful thrusters on the ship be behind it. The dash is very helpful in levels that require a quick escape, though it's not going to make the difference if you're surrounded by enemies at the same time. Overall, I really like this game. It's addicting and feels great to play. I'm really glad I ran into it. I expect I'll be having fun with this one for a long time. The soundtrack by Ben McAuliffe is also quite solid, and you can get it on Bandcamp. Go try this one out. I think you'll enjoy it if you're a fan of procedurally generated games and space combat. Thanks for watching this shorter video. I'm working on what's likely to be a much longer video now for a challenge run I did. So stay tuned for that soon. Thanks again, and see you next time.